What's going on, everyone? This is Badass Viewer, and today I'll be taking a look at the Marvel Legends Infinite Series Iron Fist from the Odin wave. And he fell over. Alright, so surprisingly, this is a very nice figure. I think he's probably one of my favorites out of the wave. Not top favorite, but he's a lot better than I was thinking he was going to be. When I first saw him revealed, like, a year or two ago, I was kind of like, no, that's gonna suck. Because if you know anything about my preference on these figures, is that I hate this body mold. Mostly for Spider-Man. I think if they use it for anybody else, it's okay, but whenever they use it for Spider-Man, it's just terrible, and it just, like, it's not meant for a Spider-Man. Not necessarily meant for anyone, because it's kind of lacking in some articulation parts, and I think the proportions, well, it's not necessarily the proportions, it's more of like how he stands, because it's always kind of awkward looking with all the gizmos and stuff he's got going on. It's always just kind of weird to me, but and for this figure, it just, I don't know, it just feels right, like it works for him. Not only that, but with the time that they had to release this guy, they've modified it so that way it actually is a bit better than what we were expecting it to be, and that is by giving him new hands, which is great. I'm really happy that, you know, we didn't get that figure when it was supposed to come out, because otherwise it probably would have been a pile of crap. Now it's actually a really nice figure because he has actual, like, hands that are proportionate to his body, so that's nice. And not only that, but we got 3 sets of hands, so that's very nice. Or was it 4? Maybe it's 4. Maybe I can't count. Anyways, so let's talk about the details real quick. He's using the Bucky, or I'm sorry, I'm so used to saying Bucky cap that I kind of forget that this is the Bullseye mold. So this is the Bullseye mold. The head is very nicely sculpted and painted, although it's pretty much just molded in gold plastic, which is very nice. I think it looks very nice for this character, considering that he kind of like glows because of the flames, or because of his powers, or whatever that. The paint is okay in the eyes. The head, the face looks okay in terms of that paint. No weird glossy issues there. Come down to his body, it's painted in white, which has some blue shading going on throughout it, which is nice. Mine didn't come out too terribly clean, so I don't know if that's just due to kind of roughly pulling him out of the package, which I don't remember if I did or not. But you might just watch out, because this figure is probably going to be pretty easy to scuff up on the paint because of his white color. They have the dragon painted in gold, which is very nice. I don't understand why they didn't do that in other places, like over here. Well, actually what they did was they did that, but then they painted it white here. So I think they should have painted it white, or made it white, and then painted over with gold, which is probably what they did here, and it probably would have looked better. Looking at the lines here on his forearm, they don't look very clean. I mean, I don't know if it's just, I don't know if this is supposed to be like some kind of wrapping or anything like that, so maybe that's why it looks kind of weird or funky. But I mean, if I just think of it that way, then yeah, it probably is better. But if it's supposed to be straight lines, it's not really looking too good. His little thing here, which I believe is a reused piece of Miss Marvel that came out in the 3-pack. I'm trying to look. It kind of looks like it is, but it might be a little bit thinner. Either way, it's molded in gold plastic, which looks nice. Moving down to his legs, it's pretty much the same white paint with some blue shading, more on the inside of the thighs instead of on the outside of his legs, which doesn't really add to anything, but oh well. He's got molded gold plastic boots, I guess if that's what you want to call them, and then his feet are also the golden boots. So, in terms of detail, he is pretty nice. Well, he's nice, but he's nothing super spectacular, but I've seen worse, so I guess it's okay. I mean, there's some things where you can't avoid, but there's also things they probably could have done to avoid it, and I feel like that's something they kind of just passed over on. So anyways, it's not a big deal. Hopefully at some point we'll get a green version of him that would use the Bucky Cap mold, because I think that'd be pretty cool. I would hope to see that, maybe in a modern version of his costume that he uses now. So we'll see what happens, but in the meantime, we got this guy, and if you don't like this guy, you can buy the Toy Biz version, which is the one I probably will keep on display because it's just his more classic looking costume. Well, this one's nice. I think I prefer to just have that one because it's more the classic Iron Fist that I'm used to. So anyways, in terms of articulation, it's pretty much what you come to expect with this figure mold. Head can go up and down, not too terribly much. Maybe he's just a little stiff. Yeah, I think he's just a little stiff on my figure, but he can look up and down very nicely. Rotates left and right. His arms can go up and down, rotate 360 degrees. He's got the butterfly joints here on both sides. Rotation in the bicep, double jointed elbows, rotation in the wrist as well as a hinge. He's got an ab crunch which goes forward and back. Kind of leaves that ugly little gap if you put him far forward, but once you get him posing, it's probably not a big problem at all. Waist swivel. He's got wide joints in the legs, which go forward and back, in and out. Rotates at the the upper part of the thigh. Double jointed knees, no calf swivel, but he does have a hinge in the foot as well as an ankle pivot. So articulation wise, he's very nice. This figure is pretty posable, but I don't know, I feel like this figure mold is probably hitting the point where it's probably shouldn't be used anymore. Not to say that it's bad, but I feel like it's just getting to the point where we shouldn't have it anymore. But anyways, so this figure, like I said, comes with extra sets of hands. He comes with 4, and I'll show you that. He's got this kind of karate chop hand, or give me 5 or shake my hand or something like that. This one is kind of a gripping hand. Or if you're a Star Trek fan, he's saying live long and prosperous. And then he comes with a more open palmed kind of gripping hand to rip out your heart or something like that, which is also nice. And then he comes with fists. So posability options, you have a huge variety that you can do. I mean, this is pretty generic, but if I were to actually try, you can get him in some really cool poses. It's kind of unfortunate they didn't give us like a flame effect or something to put over his fist, considering that's like the main part of his power. I mean, if you want to put this giant flame effect on there, you can, or put it on his back. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I feel like flame effect, at least for one of his hands, would have been fine. Even if like they could have given us a slightly bigger version of the Miss Marvel effect or something to that nature, would have been fine with me, because that's kind of like his signature thing, I guess, if you want to call it that. But still, it's nice that we're finally getting some accessories with these figures, which makes it more justifiable to pay $20 or however much the cost is. Would I pick up this figure, or recommend you pick it up? Yeah, if you don't have the old Toy Biz version, I would. Or if you like the Heroic Age Avengers and all that, I would. We're getting a pretty nice selection of Heroic Age figures, so would be worth picking up. And it's not a bad figure at all if you can get it for a good price, or if he has good paint. But I think I'll probably just put this guy in storage unless I need him for certain things. But I don't know, I think the Toy Biz version is probably just a little bit better, just because I like the articulation a little bit better and the look of them. But someday we might get a more updated version with a different figure, so I guess we'll see what happens. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Please stay tuned for more figure reviews and other stuff like that in the future, and I'll talk to you guys later.